Love ain't easy. No, it's never been. First time we fall, they call it original sin. But the snake don't know a thing when the red robin sings. She says I ain't the one. I didn't do what you said I'd done. And we may never know what happened in the snow that night, 34 Fairview Road, 34 Fairview Road. A lot of evil goes down in the dark. It's covered by the light of day. We all had a broken heart, but it didn't have to end this way. We get blinded by our rage, like a spotlight on the stage. And we may never know what happened in the snow that night, 34 Fairview Road, 34 Fairview Road. Love ain't easy. No, it's never been. When the innocent so often lose and the wicked win, we get broken by our loyalty and follow all the broken lines of our family trees. We get blinded by our rage, like a spotlight on the stage. And we may never know what happened in the snow that night, 34 Fairview Road, 34 Fairview Road. Love ain't easy.
All right, whenever you're ready, Mr. Lally.
Thank you, Your Honor. Good morning, sir.
Morning.
Could you please state your name?
Sir, can you just answer the questions asked? Because we've had a really rough go with the last witness, and we're all a little exhausted. I feel kind of gaslit, and I'm doubting whether reality is as it seems. So could you just witness 56 be kind to us?
This might have been the first witness I felt like he actually got to the point relatively quickly without a million backup questions about where he drove, how long it took him, what he put on in the morning before he went to work, what his normal schedule is, all that stuff. And we kind of get to the meat and potatoes of his testimony. It was pretty short and sweet, but this was very interesting to me.
Where did you proceed?
I had parked my marked police vehicle at the end of the driveway since it was a snowstorm and we could not get into the driveway. And then we walked up to the residence.
So when you say it was a snowstorm and we couldn't get into the driveway, can you expound upon that a little as far as explain to the jury why it was that you couldn't get into the driveway?
There was about a foot of snow in the driveway.
Because it was snowing. It was snowing. This is the number one fact that we know has absolutely been proven beyond reasonable doubt.
The driveway. Can you expound upon that a little as far as explain to the jury why it was that you couldn't get into the driveway?
There was about a foot of
Oh my
snow
God, 'cause there was
in the
snow.
driveway.
We saw the video of the driveway. The driveway actually did have a bit of
Way.
snow.
And as far as that snow that you observed when you arrived there, was that snow, how did that snow appear as far as, did it appear as if it had been shoveled or snow blown
appeared
or,
like
or
snow.
untouched or how did it?
It was untouched.
It had not been blown. It did not have
Now,
its
as
skis
you're,
on or off.
Going through the
just
snow,
snow.
and correct me if I'm wrong, but now as far as you were there specifically for a vehicle, correct?
Correct.
Did you observe a vehicle in the driveway at any time?
Yes, we observed a black Lexus SUV in the driveway. I had an officer that was field training with me that day, and he was with me as well. And we went up to the residence.
In the snow.
And as you're walking, what, if anything, did you come upon as you're going towards, say, any door or
Snow.
getting closer to the home?
More snow.
I remained at the garage.
And if you recall, from where you're standing at the point of the garage, was what part of the vehicle was facing you? Was it the front of the vehicle, the back of the vehicle, the side of the vehicle?
I was looking at the left side of the vehicle.
And at some
Driver's
point,
side.
did you make any observations of the right rear part of that Lexus SUV?
I was looking at the left side of the vehicle.
So the driver's side.
And
I actually just want to hear from the tow truck driver. Can we just get to that? I'd really like to hear from the tow truck driver.
the
and see if
owner,
he took pictures.
and he responded.
now, as far as you received that call at about 2:30, do you know specifically who you spoke to around 2:30 in the afternoon?
Trooper Michael Proctor.
2:30 in the afternoon, he was called by the Massachusetts State Police. And they told him, we're coming to tow a car that was involved in a motor vehicle homicide by 2:30. They had not found any pieces of taillight by that time, as we know. They found a broken drinking glass at the scene, 6 droplets of blood, a body with a huge gash to the back of his head. Looked like he went 10 rounds with Mike Tyson with what clearly appeared to be some sort of dog bite injuries to his right arm. No torso injuries, no leg injuries, no knee injuries. But at 2:30 p.m., Proctor and/or Buchanan call Dighton and say, we're coming to tow a vehicle that was involved in a motor vehicle homicide. Let that sink in.
If anything, did you observe about that area of the vehicle?
I saw that there was some damage to the right rear taillight.
Okay, this guy is gonna describe the damage to the right rear taillight when the vehicle was picked up, when the vehicle was retrieved from that property.
There was some damage to that right rear tail light. Okay. And to his best recollection,
To my best ability and recollection, that tail light was not completely damaged. It was cracked, and a piece was missing, but not completely damaged.
Interesting.
And then beyond the taillight area,
Cracked and a piece was missing. That testimony is consistent with Jen McCabe, Carrie Roberts, and everybody else. Cracked and a piece was missing. Not the entire casing of the taillight was gone. Isn't that interesting? Which makes that cross-examination of Yannetti with the crime scene physical match, where they physical matched all the taillight except for a little piece of the red and a piece of the white. Much more powerful, isn't it?
This dude, I believe, was telling the truth, right? This, to me, sounds like the impact from, from Karen Reed hitting the other car, right? So this, to me, made perfect sense. And I was like, oh, that matches what we've heard from other people who said cracked.
Cracked.
and then
And a piece was
beyond the
missing.
taillight area of that vehicle,
It was cracked and a piece was missing, and it was not completely damaged.
That tail light was not completely damaged. It was cracked, and a piece was missing, but not completely damaged.
and then
Bam. He noticed that tail light was cracked and there was a little piece missing. It was not completely damaged. It was not shattered. There you go.
So that to me, because that I did see, and I was just like, wow, thanks, Lolly. You just put on the defense's case. I mean, this guy, I felt, was very clear to go out of his way to say what I observed. In my opinion, it wasn't missing. There wasn't a pieces missing. There was a small piece missing and it was cracked. It was like, I don't know if Lolly didn't know he was going to say that or what.
I mean, why call this guy? Unless you knew the defense is going to call him, you already have people testifying like, Yuri, it was smashed. There's all these pieces, blah, blah, blah. You have other people saying that.
It was cracked and a piece was missing. but it was not completely damaged. You know, I've seen the pictures later on, right? I've seen the pictures later along the, when it's in the Sally port.
Cracked with a piece missing. I actually thought, now, like relevancy wise and proving this case, I thought this witness might have been more important for the defense than Proctor. Cracked with a piece missing, which is like exactly what the defense's theory of the case is.
I don't think anybody could describe it as cracked and a piece missing, but not completely damaged. Because later, oh man, does it look completely annihilated.
Oh, so you think that the jury is going to think that this guy meant that the one piece was missing was the 45-piece jigsaw puzzle that the tech put together? Like
Right.
that's what you're saying.
I
Like,
think
no-
it's the one piece that they couldn't put back
Right,
together because
that's exactly what it is. It's exactly the small piece in the corner.
And this guy wanted to make sure, everybody knew it wasn't smashed like it had been hit with a hammer and 50 pieces were going to be found.
I don't think that this is going to be a good thing for the prosecution. He just testified that it was cracked. There was a piece missing, but it was not completely damaged.
So they even confirmed he walked up to it. Maybe they wanted to get out the dent part, that it was dented, and that somehow proves it. But I think this was a good witness for the defense. And I think the defense thought it was a good witness for the defense because there was no cross. No reason to cross this witness. All they would have asked him is, was it cracked or did it look like it had been smashed? And they didn't need to. Was there a piece missing or 40 pieces missing? I thought this was a big witness for the defense.
Yeah, that's not good for the prosecution. That's inconsistent with finding these ginormous cracked pieces that were completely shattered, that were found at 34 Fairview Road days and weeks later. I don't think that's good for the prosecution. Why did Lally call this guy? Why did he call him? Yeah, this is kind of a problem for Lally, I think. Retro.